Tonight on Newswatch, breaking news out of sports. Ohio University football has an interim head coach. Plus, Athens City Council revisits an ordinance on temporary shelters for people in need. And winter weather impacts travel across the region, with more snow on the way. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Morgan Anderson. Welcome to Newswatch. We begin with breaking news from the Ohio University football team. Head coach Brian Smith is on leave effective immediately. It's unclear why the first-year head coach is on leave. The university announced today it is for an undetermined period of time. Defensive coordinator John Hauser has been named interim head coach, and this comes ahead of the program's fourth straight bowl game. Hauser has served as associate head coach since 2024 and has been with the team since 2022. It's uncertain if Smith will be back for the team's bowl game later this month. The Bobcats finished with an 8-4 record in Smith's first season as head coach. The Conestoga Huts are temporary shelters for the unhoused. They're back up for consideration at Athens City Council after one ordinance did not pass upon third reading. But it's unlikely any progress will be made tonight at Council as the ordinance is back in committee and cannot pass. Reporter Charlie Ehlenfeld is outside City Council with more on its latest developments. Charlie.
Morgan, inside City Council, the public and members of council have divided over the issue. After Athens City Council passed an ordinance allowing for the huts to be placed on North Congress at the gathering place, it declined to pass an ordinance that would allow for huts to be placed in R3 and B3 zones across the city. However, Athens Law Director Lisa Eliason warned the city that they could be opened up to a lawsuit if they did not pass this ordinance under the grounds that it could be spot zoning. The ordinance would allow for temporary housing shelters, but only after approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals and Safety Service Director Andy Stone. Councilmember Solveig Spjeldness said she believed it was unlikely any other locations in the city would apply for the abilities to host Conestoga Huts. However, the proposal still sparked backlash among some Athens residents and caused Alan Swank, the council member who introduced the ordinance, to reverse course. Even Spjeldness, a strong supporter, agreed to push back the ordinance for a later date.
So my preference, honestly, is to say, you know, I think it's a good idea in the future, but let's put it aside for now and then take it up when we've seen a little bit more about how our need is.
Tonight's committee discussion ensures the ordinance cannot be advanced. However, the existing huts will service 3 people, and that service is intended to rotate to serve up to 10 people. While it cannot pass tonight, the committee discussion could indicate whether or not the council wants to pursue this ordinance in the next session.
Thanks, Charlie. The Ohio law limits where sex offenders can live in relation to child care facilities depending on where they were convicted. But there are no laws prohibiting them from living near their victims. To solve this problem, the House bill passed House Bill 102, which will move to the Senate. This bill prohibits a convicted sex offender from living near their victims. However, some believe the bill lacks the language to protect tenants and would encourage offenders to monitor their victims' whereabouts. Well, we're seeing lots of snow pour in later tonight. Let's head on over to the Weather Center with forecaster Lexi Polpulzi. Lexi, are we getting a snow day tomorrow? I gotta know.
Likely we won't, but we are expected to get about 1 to 3 inches of snow as well as a light accumulation. So maybe if road conditions are favorable for it, but we'll get a little bit more in depth on that later on in the show. Currently here is 33 degrees with overcast skies and winds from our northeast about 6 miles per hour. Now that doesn't seem like too much, but it's enough to make our wind chill about 27 degrees. So it's a bit chilly out there. We did see some sunshine earlier today though, which was really nice, especially given we're not really going to be seeing much sun until our midweek. Now today, like I said, we did see a bit of cloud cover earlier in the day and up until our late afternoon hours, like about 2:30, 3 o'clock, we started seeing a bit more of that sunshine, which, like I said, pretty nice given that we are going to start seeing more cloudier conditions tonight as well as tomorrow. But that is because of that high pressure system that's starting to move out of our area and letting the snow come in. Now today, like I said, we had mostly cloudy skies with that high of 37 and a low of 28. And tonight we'll see that low of 28 with a 100% chance of snow. And we'll get more into that snow later on in the show.
Thanks, Lexi. Federal Appeals Court rules Alina Habba is serving unlawfully as U.S. attorney. The panel of 3 federal judges held up a lower court's ruling that Habba is serving unlawfully as the U.S. attorney for New Jersey. Habba is a former personal attorney of the president. The court said the Trump administration broke the law by using a series of maneuvers to install Habba in the position after failing to get Senate confirmation. The case is the first challenge of the Trump administration's process for selecting U.S. attorneys to be heard by a federal appeals court. In Massachusetts, the murder trial of Brian Walsh is underway for the alleged killing and dismembering of his wife Anna Walsh in 2023. Last month, Brian pleaded guilty to lesser charges but denied killing his wife. Lee Waldman has the latest.
Nearly 3 years after Anna Walsh disappeared, her husband Brian Walsh is on trial for her murder. Anna was reported missing by her employer on January 4, 2023. Brian told investigators he had last seen her days earlier on January 1st. Investigators found trash bags of evidence containing a hacksaw, a hatchet, and several items with both Brian and Anna's DNA on them. Her body has never been found. In Monday's opening statements, Assistant District Attorney Greg Connor laid out a series of internet searches he says Brian made.
How to dismember a body. Can you be charged with murder without a body?
Prosecutors allege Brian Walsh killed his wife because he wanted to end their marriage.
See how all the evidence fits together. Pay careful attention to the timing of certain events.
Last month, Brian pleaded guilty to misleading police and improper conveyance of a human body, but maintains he is not guilty of murder. While the prosecution did not offer a theory on how Anna died, Larry Tipton, Brian's defense attorney, did.
You will hear evidence in this case of sudden, unexplained death. You will hear evidence that it is rape.
Tipton argued Brian found his wife dead in their bed and lied to law enforcement about his wife's disappearance to protect their 3 sons.
Brian Walsh never killed him. Brian Walsh is not guilty.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Coming up, winter storms causing travel woes for those heading home after Thanksgiving. And today is Cyber Monday, what you need to know ahead of this year's holiday shopping season.
And a winter weather advisory for tonight and tomorrow. Will that impact your morning commute tomorrow morning? We'll find out more when Newswatch returns.
Are you speechless? Are you speechless?
Coming up, the voice of an angel. Charlotte Church joins me in the kitchen. And there's a bit of honey.
I'm literally Winnie the Pooh. I'm so obsessed with honey.
John is having the perfect day out.
I would like to live here. I'd like to be one of your chickens.
And I've got a hack for making chocolate leaves. Welcome to my Cotswold kitchen.
Tonight at 9:30 on WOUB.
Wondering what to cook this holiday season? WOUB and Milk Street can help. On Wednesday, December 17th, join the Milk Street Cooking School team for a free live stream cooking class. The team will be cooking up some of their favorite holiday sides, including butter braised mashed potatoes and dark chocolate terrine. The class is free, but space is limited. Go online today to register.
Tell stories.
To evolve. To explore.
Well, traveling back from the holidays is never a fun task, but this year was worse than most as a winter storm sweeps over the Midwest. Mother Nature could disappoint some travelers who waited out yesterday's traffic and snow. Amy Kiley reports that as one winter storm system departs, another one is on its heels.
Winter weather continues to hinder travelers coming back from their Thanksgiving destinations. Forecasters say a new storm system is taking shape today in the Mid-South, near where Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas meet. They predict snow in much of the northeastern U.S. this week and heavy rain south of there. This system follows a previous one that snarled travel over the weekend.
Winter weather can always be impactful, but this is definitely one for the books for sure.
Indiana police say 45 vehicles were in this pileup Saturday with no major injuries. Delta says no one was hurt when this plane slid off an Iowa runway yesterday. FlightAware reports roughly 12,000 delays and 1,000 U.S. cancellations yesterday. It says Chicago's O'Hare Airport was the hardest hit.
We were pushed back because it was delayed for a couple of hours. Then we were able to get another flight. That one was delayed like another 30 minutes to an hour.
FlightAware says the busiest airport in the world racked up delays too.
The concern is that the flight would be canceled. If it's delayed, we've got some family here who's on standby to come back and pick us up. So we'll see how it goes.
That's even though it's in Atlanta, which did not get snow.
The aviation system is really interconnected and it can have a domino effect. So you can be outrightly impacted even without being in that area that's seeing weather.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
I am not jealous as I watch all those folks delayed. I'm lucky that I live in driving distance of all my plans. But Lexi, I had some friends, they went to Florida for the holiday, you name it. A lot of them had to leave early or they got stuck in the delays. Yeah, especially if you're someone who is like, you know what, I have like the sick days, I can delay myself a little bit longer, especially if you're traveling by road. You're gonna get delayed again, most likely. We're gonna see some more winter weather tonight, especially tomorrow morning. That commute is definitely gonna get impacted. So we can talk about that more here in a second. Currently here it is 33 degrees with overcast skies and winds from our northeast at about 6 miles per hour. And like I said earlier, that 6 mile per hour wind on a normal day, you're probably like, that's not that bad. But then you see that wind chill at 27, you're like, okay, that's pretty cold, never mind. But today we did see a little bit of sunshine as some high pressure started to try and become established here, but unfortunately that's going to quickly fail. We're going to find out here more in a second with that snow. Now today we saw mostly cloudy skies other than that little bit of clearing late this afternoon with a high of 37 and a low of 28. And tonight we'll see that low of 28 with a 100% chance of snow and tomorrow's sunrise at 7:29 a.m. And like I said earlier, we are going to be seeing about 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight, as well as a light accumulation of ice. Now, places in more southern Ohio, like Ironton down here, you're expected to see a little bit more freezing rain than we will. You have a possibility of up to 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulations into tomorrow morning. So please give yourself enough time to brush off your car, scrape the ice off your car. We all know the annoyance of having to do that, also on a time crunch, and also just to give yourself enough time to get to where you need to go safely and cautiously. Now, let's get some more timing on this, looking with our XRAD here. Now, as you can see, about midnight, 1 o'clock is when we're going to start seeing some showers start to turn to snow. I'm thinking we're going to be a little bit cold enough to not really even see much rainfall. But like I said, if we are a little bit warmer and we see a little bit more rain before, that also will impact our ice accumulations. So please just give yourself that extra time, like I said, to brush your car off, but even just to drive cautiously and slowly tomorrow, especially if you're on one of those township roads that we all know are one of the last ones to get plowed. Just like I said, morning commute, be a little bit more cautious. That winter weather advisory is from 11 p.m. tonight until 1 p.m. tomorrow. And that is why we have that 50% chance of snow. It's going to be what's going to be moving out of the area by mid to late morning tomorrow. With a high of 37 and a low of 21, temperature-wise, we're going to be kind of the same as today, essentially. Now, with our surface analysis here, we can see that system starting to move out of our area. Up north, you're going to still see some snow and wintry precip, but other than that, we're not going to be really seeing much. Wednesday is really when that high pressure is going to take over, and we're going to see some decrease in cloud cover and a little bit more of some sunshine to end off our week. Like I said, Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday, we will be seeing some sunshine, but even though the last couple weeks we've had that cold day and then a couple warm days, we're kind of going to stay cold for the remainder of the week with highs in the mid to upper 30s throughout.
U.S. shoppers are expected to spend more than $14 billion online today, according to Adobe Analytics. But tariffs and inflation are impacting this year's Cyber Monday shopping. Michael Yoshida has more.
U.S. consumers spent $11.8 billion online this Black Friday, with an estimated $14.2 billion more expected to be spent Cyber Monday, according to Adobe Analytics.
This 5-day period from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday is significant for retailers.
Money going into online shopping carts could reach new heights this year, but consumer experts warn people might actually be buying less. And the high dollar numbers are largely due to the impact of tariffs and higher prices from inflation.
What's happening is that the number of items purchased is actually down, but prices are higher. Average selling prices are higher. So we are seeing the increase in spending due to that inflation.
National consumer expert Claudia Lombana says who is spending their money is another key thing to pay attention to.
The ones that have higher income are spending at will, but those who are less affluent are budgeting.
Some argue it's part of the so-called K-shaped economy.
They're talking about that funny-looking capital letter. You know, there's the bit that stands up, and there's a bit that goes up and a bit that goes down.
With higher earners getting a boost from stock market investments and home valuation, while lower earners are increasingly living paycheck to paycheck.
Those who are already financially very well off, their economy is going pretty well for them. Those who are less well off, working and middle-class Americans, they're the lower part of that K, and maybe their economy is pointing south.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
With Black Friday in the rearview mirror and Christmas approaching quickly, consumers are paying more for less this year. Shrinkflation is when a product is reduced in size while the price is increased. Analysts say online shopping in the U.S. rose by 3% on Black Friday. Consumers are also buying more expensive items, including luxury and home goods. Gallup reports U.S. households that are low to middle income say they plan to spend less this holiday season. With holiday shopping season just getting started, big retailers are slashing prices, but small businesses are struggling with rising costs. Jen Sullivan has more on why this year it's important to shop local.
During the day, Ashton O'Malley works in tech. But at night and on weekends, she's working out of this shed in her backyard, fulfilling her dream of being a small business owner. She's the founder of Circle Time Stories.
Circle Time Stories is a brand of children's books and supportive tools that put big life lessons into tangible concepts for kids.
Between juggling 2 jobs, she's also a mom to a 5- and 2-year-old. Her children, her inspiration behind the idea to first write and self-publish a children's book about bravery called The Very Brave Day.
Bravery isn't, facing the monster in your closet. It's trying a new food.
This book, the launching pad to a much bigger idea about kids talking about and tackling their big emotions. She now sells stickers, clothing, and stuffed animals, all tied to stories about being brave. She says her biggest challenge is finances.
My margins are razor thin. I feel like I'm just incurring more costs and it's so expensive.
O'Malley lives in Ventura, California, where the cost of living is already high. Supplies to even make things like stickers now cost her more. And those added costs hit small businesses particularly hard, according to industry experts.
Business owners who are facing tighter margins, facing more difficult times, and really show up for them the way they show up for their own communities as well.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says events like Small Business Saturday are so important. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce estimates there are more than 33 million small businesses with fewer than 500 employees and less than $7.5 million in annual receipts. They make up 99.9% of total businesses in the U.S. Back in her shed, O'Malley has big dreams for her company, but knows the reality is she's likely years away from making this her full-time job.
This is my chance to show my kids what bravery looks like.
Out the door today.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Across the country, people are finally paying less to fill up the gas tank. The national average for a gallon of gas was just under $3 at $2.99. That's according to Gas Buddy's online tracker, but the Ohio average is even lower at about $2.65 according to AAA. Athens, Morgan, Washington, Vinton, and Meigs counties have gas averages in the $2.80 range. Lower crude oil costs, record oil production in the U.S., and improvements made to refinery outputs are all aiding in the lowering of fuel costs nationwide.
Next in sports, the Ohio football team is preparing for their bowl game. Find out where they may be headed next.
The Ohio Art Corridor is a destination experience. We would like this to be the largest outdoor art gallery in the world.
Portsmouth was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship.
We got land granted to us in Ohio. Great opportunity. Let's go. How would you know you got here? It was just sheer determination and patience and just hard, back-breaking work.
The bridge was acclaimed at the time of being an engineering marvel.
Progress is all about taking the lessons of the past and doing better. So I would hope that now that we know better, we will do better.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Everyone's so happy you're home, darling. Come inside. It's just so exciting. It's a real treat.
What an amazing family.
Let's get this show on the road!
That sounds like a party.
Marvelous. Will I get presents?
Oh, I love this.
Welcome to sports. I'm Andrew Woods. The Ohio football team ended the regular season on a high note, beating the Buffalo Bulls in a close battle. However, despite the win, Ohio couldn't get the breaks they needed and won't get a chance to defend their MAC title. Despite holding up their end of the bargain, because Ball State and Central Michigan lost their games, Ohio won't be defending their MAC title this year. Instead, Miami will be headed back to Detroit to face Western Michigan. That game kicks off at noon on December 6th. Ohio, Toledo, and Central Michigan, meanwhile, will join the Red Hawks and Broncos and represent the MAC this bowl season. Speaking of bowls, despite missing out on the MAC championship game, Ohio could be headed to Detroit anyway for bowl season. Most bowl projections have put the Bobcats in the Game Above Sports Bowl at Ford Field. In it, they will likely face either Northwestern or Penn State. Meanwhile, ESPN's Mark Schlabach differed, predicting the Bobcats will play Boise State in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Moving down to the high school ranks, last week, the OHSAA voted to allow student athletes to accept NIL deals. This comes after an athlete sued the organization over the issue. Under the new rules, student athletes can take advantage of their name, image, and likeness to make money. However, there are some rules behind these deals. For example, athletes must report all deals made to the OHSAA and can't use their school's branding during NIL activities. Meanwhile, schools cannot form NIL collectives or recruit or retain players with NIL. Speaking of high school sports, the Wheelersburg Pirates will play for a state title this year after beating Cardinal Mooney 24-10 in their state semifinal. Cooper Heimbach got the Pirates going with his first of 3 field goals on the night. Meanwhile, the Pirates defense clamped down, picking off Cardinal Mooney 3 times during the game. Then, after Stephen Hall gave the Pirates the lead for good, Braylon Rucker punched in a touchdown to put the game away. With the win, Wheelersburg will face Liberty Center in the state final. And finally, yesterday, Ohio women's basketball took on the Davidson Wildcats, and although they put up a fight, They lost a close game 64-59. That's all for sports. Morgan, back to you.
Still ahead, Donkey Coffee's newest employee was finally able to visit the coffee shop this weekend. And here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station.
It's you I like. Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
Oh, I love this. It's the one where you blow really, really hard.
It's really magic. It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers, It's You I Like.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Can you feel the moment?
The American Revolution changed the world.
With a story unfolds.
Everybody had the sense of possibility worth fighting for.
What took place here still leaves us in awe.
We can work towards equality together.
Wow, this is the missing piece. Incredible.
To confront these figures from ancient history is a great privilege.
Our history tells us who we are, where we came from.
And it's all connected.
Like links in a chain.
Like links in a chain, yeah.
All I can do is say thank you.
Wow, this is phenomenal.
I'm really grateful for this.
They make an unmistakable sound. But woodpeckers are incredibly varied. And these charismatic birds drum in almost every forest, everywhere in the world. Think you know the woodpecker? Think again. This is the whole story.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Sergeant Pepper has made his first appearance at Donkey Coffee. The director of the marketing for Donkey Coffee, which is a donkey, came to the shop and traveled down Court Street, meeting people and seeing the sights. He went through extensive training to get ready for the new surfaces and people he met on Saturday. It was the first public outing for Sergeant Pepper, and based on the pictures and videos, he made quite the impression. For an employee less than 1 year old, he's already making his mark on Athens. How cute is that? Let's get one last look at our weather while we're here. Lexi, what's in store?
Yeah, like I said earlier, that snowfall coming in tonight, definitely going to impact that morning commute tomorrow. So like I said, give yourself enough time to brush off your car, get some ice off your windshield, but also just to drive slowly and cautiously. And like I said, especially on those township roads that we all know are the last ones that get plowed. But other than that, once that system leaves our area, we're going to have a sunny rest of our week. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a cold, wintry week.
Good deal, Lexi. That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For all of us here at Newswatch, I'm Morgan Anderson. Be sure to stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. Have a great night, stay safe, and we'll be right back here tomorrow.